Those finals, SGA, of course, wins the championship. And now you zoom out on his entire season. Since the MVP award was first handed out, which was in 1956, only 4 players have won the scoring title, the MVP, the title in the same season. They are Shaquille O'Neal, Lou Alcindor, of course, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Michael Jordan, who did it 4 times, and now SGA, one of the great seasons that we have ever seen. And as we try and put it into some context, Winman, you know what I found myself thinking about last night? For the longest time, LeBron James was the best player in basketball. We have described LeBron James as the best player in the sport for a generation. In the last 5 years, we've changed our minds 3 times on who the best one is, right? It was when Giannis wins, he scores those 50 points in Game 6 of the finals. Oh, my God, it's Giannis's league, the Greek freak. He's the best player. 2 years later, boom, Nikola Jokic wins the championship. He's one of the greatest centers of all time. He's already a top 10 player. It's Nikola Jokic's league. Boom. SGA. Is it now his league? When we say who's the best player in basketball right now, is the answer Shai Gilgeous-Alexander?
He's holding all the trophies. You have to give it to him. I think Jokic probably is thinking about a bunch of what ifs, both with what happened with that roster, what happened with health on that roster with Aaron Gordon. They lost in 7 games. They lost in this same situation. Wondering if he could have done that and looking forward to potentially seeing him again next year. I think it's a healthy challenge, but to the victor go the spoils. And, you know, my thing is, one of the things that I've learned 20 plus years covering the NBA, when you're the champ, it means never having to say you're sorry. You can say you're the best player, you got all the trophies, you got to come beat me. That's where he's at right now.
I think he's the best player on the best team. I don't think he's the best player in the league. I think that's either Giannis or Nikola Jokic. And I think that's okay to say. I think he's had a prolific year. Obviously, he's won an MLB, like Brian Windhorst just said. But I think top to bottom, when I look at all the skill sets, size, frame, height, athletic ability, all of it combined on the defensive end too, I still say that's Giannis or Jokic.
Yeah.
That does not diminish how incredible SGA is, in my opinion.
Of course not, because of what he meant to his team. You know, think about that as well. And I'm with both of you in both ways. When you have all the trophies, you're the best player for that year. He had one of the best seasons, you just documented it, that you've ever seen. The face of the league conversation, though, don't get me started, because we don't have one. We have LeBron James, and that's it. We can't keep waiting for the next player to take it. We'll know. We'll know when that guy emerges. It could be him. You never know. It could start with him and from this year forward, and maybe it emerges. But when it comes to seasons and what he did, I think what's most remarkable about him is the humility he shows as such an individually great talent, and yet how that team is with each other. And when you look at blueprints of how to build a team, that's what you're hoping to have one day, is a team that is that unselfish. They care that much about each other's success. It's so hard to find. But that right there, to me, that's the sweet spot when it comes to building a team.
Keith, how about it? How about SGA?
Unbelievable season, man. He literally like took this young team and with this young nucleus and did things that people didn't expect. But in this situation, I'm going to go with Jay on this one, man. Yes, he was the best player on the best team this year. And again, he had a great season. I want to give him his flowers, but he is not the best player in the NBA. Nikola Jokic is the best player in the NBA.
Okay, so whatever. I literally just threw that in a last-minute curveball, and it's not a quibble about this on the day after SGA wins the championship. Let's ask this. We just talked about Kevin Durant getting traded to the Houston Rockets. They were the team that finished second. They were sort of like the Thunder of a year ago. Right? The Thunder burst onto the scene a year ago. Oh, my goodness, look at this lofty record. They're so young. No one knows who half of them are. And they're not really going to be all that good. They get knocked out in the second round. Here they are winning the title. Rockets were that team this year. Played a tough 7-game series against a very tested veteran Golden State team, obviously. And now they add Kevin Durant. So did a funny thing happen on the way to this OKC dynasty?
Well, so there's a few things that you could see that could challenge Oklahoma City from winning a number. One would be Jokic and the Nuggets roaring back. One would be a rise from the East, depending on what happens with Giannis and San Antonio. But the other thing I would say is the thing that makes this trade so interesting for Houston is they still have a number of highly valuable pieces that they can either let develop, and like Oklahoma City did, they held them together, or look to go hunting in the trade market again if a major player comes available. Whether it's somebody we can foresee today or somebody becomes available in 6 months or a year, because the reason at the start of this, they didn't want to do Durant. They didn't necessarily, it wasn't anything against him. They were like a 37-year-old with a bunch of 20-somethings. That doesn't fit. They couldn't say no to this because of the value proposition, and it leaves them so much more to play with going forward.
Don't count out the Lakers. Don't count out the Nuggets. Don't count out Minnesota. Still knocking
Luka,
on the door as
LeBron
well.
still in the West. Absolutely.
Well,
And
but they
Luka
need
and
pieces,
LeBron.
though, right? I mean,
Yeah, I
moves
agree.
need
But that's
to
why
get
we're coming
made
up here.
July 1st.
over the next
that's why
couple
we're
of
coming
weeks. That's why the win man is going to be invaluable as we work our way through the next few weeks. And as we've said here before, don't discount the possibility that the Greek Freak is involved in some of these conversations. So SGA may or may not be the best player in basketball. Shohei Ohtani is the best player in baseball, and he was doing it last night. Here's Shohei Ohtani's day. Are you ready? This is Ohtani doing the pitching. That's Luis Garcia Jr. You look at the breaking stuff from Ohtani.
Filthy.
Just incredible. Next batter is Nathaniel Lowe, swinging. Ohtani pitching his one inning again as he works his way back into starting form. Had the 2 strikeouts, and then, of course, he flips it around, and now he's on the offensive side. Bottom of 7, Dodgers up 4-3. Bases juiced for Ohtani. Look at that. That is right up the right field line. 3 runs will score on the triple from Shohei as the Dodgers take a 7-3 lead. Now it's 11-3 in the 8th. Ohtani is back at the plate with a runner on. He's doing his celebration. He's having his fun. Again, the game's out of hand here, but Ohtani is still going to give the fans what they came for. That one is the other way. Watch the fan here. The ball's going to go off the fan's glove. So you make the call, Alan. Is this a home run or not a home run? We'll show it to you again. It would be reviewed. You tell me.
Oh, yeah, that's Jeffrey Mayer.
Jeffrey Mayer,
That's
exactly.
Jeffrey Mayer.
It's ruled a home run.